creations. If you're new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget, more everything on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube should notify you every time I'm uploading a new video. If you're interested in following me on social media, you can find those links in the description box below. So what do I have going on for you for today? Today, I'm bringing to you a recreation of an old DIY of mine using the glass milk jugs that you can get from the Dollar Tree. This recreation was requested by a subscriber by the name of Taylor Creative Butterfly 18. She saw this DIY, and it was an older farmhouse DIY that I did where I distressed the bottles and I put them in a plastic bin for display. And she really liked the DIY, but she wanted to know if I could do it using a wood bin, if I could create a wood bin. So that's what I'm bringing to you today. I'm gonna recreate my old DIY. I'm gonna update it a bit. I'm gonna put a new twist on it, and I'm gonna add a wood crate for them to be in. And so Taylor, thank you so much for your request. I hope you enjoy what I came up with. So let's get to it and let me show you what I have in mind for this recreation.
Guess what? Surprise, surprise. This is ending up to be another one of my roller DIYs. I picked up this 4-pack at the 99-cent store. You can get these individual ones at Walmart for about 42 cents a piece when they're not on sale, but because it's back to school right now, you can get them for about 20 cents a piece, which is 5 for $1, which makes for a better buy than the 99-cent store. Using a razor, a straight edge razor, I'm not going to call this a safety cutter because there really is nothing safe about this, and a ruler, I'm going to score my ruler at 8.5 inches, giving me a 3.5 inch piece that I'm cutting off. Then I thought I'd take some of the wire cutters just to kind of help snap the two pieces apart. It isn't really hard to snap these apart, but when you do snap them apart, you might get a little breakage here. That's easily remedied. It'll cut off pretty easily. And if you have a piece of sandpaper, you can just kind of smooth it out. You're gonna need 4 pieces of ruler that are at 8.5 inches and 4 smaller pieces that measure out at 3.5 inches. Using some of Aleene's tacky glue, this is a glue that I prefer because I've seen really great results with it. If you want to use a different glue like a wood glue, you can use that too. I'm going to apply some of this glue to the side edge of the 8.5 inch ruler, and I'm going to place 2 of the rulers together side by side just like so. You're going to want to make sure that you wipe off that excess glue because you don't want that bead of glue to dry as a bead. I'm gonna do this to both 8.5 inch rulers, gluing them side by side together, giving me 2 sets. I'm also gonna glue together the 3.5 inch pieces, again, side by side, doing it the same way. Now we're gonna cut 8 2-inch pieces of the ruler, so each ruler will give you 4 2-inch pieces. Once you've got all 8 of them cut, on one side of the ruler, you're gonna place some of your glue, and you're gonna adhere another piece to the side, kind of giving you a corner like this, and you're gonna do this to all 8 pieces, giving you 4 total corners. Once you've got all your ruler pieces glued together, you should have the 2 longer sets, the 2 shorter sets, and your 4 corners. Now all that's left to do is to put this together, and so I'm gonna start off with the corners, and I'm gonna place some of my glue right inside the corner pieces. Then I'm gonna take the longer 8.5 inch ruler pieces and I'm gonna set them right inside. And this is making a crate, a smaller crate. This is something that I've done before, just on a larger scale. And so this is just a bit of a smaller one. And so this is pretty self-explanatory. We're just gonna glue together all of these pieces using the corners. The 2 longer ruler pieces are going to go on each side, and then the 2 smaller ones will go off to the side of those. I hope that didn't sound too complicated, but you can kind of see what I'm doing, so it's pretty easy to do. And we're just going to set this aside, let it get good and dry, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now to stain my rulers, I will be using liquid shoe polish. This is a technique that I've used often. This is a shoe polish that I've picked up from the 99-cent store. You can find it at just about any dollar store as well. I like the brown and the black, and so I'm gonna start off by giving this a nice good coating, base coating with the brown, and I'm using just a paintbrush to apply it. You can use the sponge. It just makes it a little bit harder because there are a lot of edges and holes in this, and so I just figured it'd be easier to use a paintbrush. Once I get a real good, nice base coating of this brown shoe polish, I'm gonna go in with the black shoe polish because this brown has quite a bit of red in it, and it just isn't as rustic and farmhouse as I like it to be. I feel like when you think of rustic and you think of farmhouse, you think of that dark wood, that walnut wood, and so that's the color that I like to go for, and you can easily achieve that using the brown and the black shoe polish. And so like I said, now I'm gonna take the black liquid shoe polish and I'm gonna go directly over the brown that I just did. And you'll see as I do it, this really does darken up the wood. It richens it up quite a bit. It doesn't give it that black shoe polish, that black stained look. It really does transform this reddish brown shoe polish that I originally applied to these rulers into a nice, rich, dark walnut brown, which is exactly what I love. I just feel like it screams farmhouse, like I said. In the past, when I have used this technique with the shoe polish, I have had several of my subscribers ask, does it smell? Does the shoe polish rub off onto whatever surface that you set it on? It absolutely does not. Liquid shoe polish works exactly like a liquid stain. I would say the smell is even less than a liquid stain because I feel like when you use Minwax stain, there is such a strong smell that it's better to do it outside so you have the air. With the shoe polish, it really does have a very faint scent, but once it's dry, the scent goes away. It doesn't rub off on anything. And the only thing that I would suggest is that if this is a piece that you're gonna have outside, that you may wanna seal it just like you would with anything else that you stain. And again, I'm just gonna set this aside for a couple of hours and let it get good and dry before I move on to the next step, which is really just finishing up this project and putting it together. I took a piece of cardboard. This was a scrap piece of cardboard that I had on hand laying around. I traced the outside of this ruler crate and just cut it out with a razor. Then taking some of my Aleene's glue or whatever glue it is that you like to use, I'm gonna place it on the outside edge of this. Then I'm just simply going to place the cardboard on the bottom. This is for decorative purposes only. If you want to use several different rulers to line the bottom of this, you can. If you want to use wood, you can. I just figure that cardboard is a cheap, easy, inexpensive way to put a bottom on this crate and it's not going to be seen, so I'm not really worried about it. I love these milk jugs that the Dollar Tree carries. I picked up 3 of these for this DIY, and I'll also be using some of Waverly's chalk paint in the color of white with a matte finish. And I'm gonna give all 3 of these milk jugs a real nice thick base coat using this paint. These jars from the Dollar Tree have a gorgeous imprint on them that I just love. So using a round foam applicator and some black matte acrylic paint, I'm just gonna gently go over the imprint, the raised imprint with this. I'm not looking for perfection because when things are aged and distressed, they're not perfect. If you happen to get a bit too much black on the outside edges or off of the imprinted areas, you can always go back with your white paint and kind of cover it up. But this is just a real easy way if you don't want to do a base coat with black paint and then go over it with white and then sand the imprint. This is an easy way to achieve this same look. I'm also going to add just a bit of the black to the top ring here at the top of the milk jug because I think that by doing this, it's really going to make the imprint on the front of this jar kind of stand out just a bit more. And as you can see, there were a couple spots where I got a bit heavy-handed with the black paint, so I'm just going to go back over it with my white chalk paint just to kind of cover it up and clean it up just a bit. We are done, so let's put this together. This crate is good and sturdy. It's not falling apart. I made it big enough to fit 3 of the milk jugs. If you want to add more milk jugs, you're just gonna lengthen your rulers and make them a bit bigger. It's your DIY, make it your own. Once I got my 3 milk jugs in, I figured just to fill in around them, just to give it a more farmhouse look, I'd add some moss. This is a brown moss that I got at Walmart, it's a Spanish moss. I really like the brown look. You can get green moss or even a reindeer moss at the Dollar Tree. Right about now, they should have the reindeer moss because Christmas is coming, and so I know that they come out with that a bit early. But I really love the look of the brown Spanish moss, and you can get it for fairly inexpensive at Walmart. I think it's comparable to what you get at the Dollar Tree. You just get a bigger package. And so I'm gonna fill in around the jars with this moss. And if you can't tell, I am obsessed with these pale green lamb ears that you can get at Walmart for 94 cents or 97 cents a bunch. I told you before in my last DIY, I really stocked up on these when I saw that they had them in stock because I absolutely love the look of them with the browns, and I just feel like it really adds that touch of color to any farmhouse DIY that I'm doing. And so I am a bit obsessed with them, and because the Dollar Tree has their cotton stems in, of course I'm gonna add just a bit of these to this as well. And that there is my recreation of, I'd say, one of my very first Dollar Tree DIYs that I've ever done here on YouTube, adding just a bit more of that farmhouse look, putting a different twist on it by adding the ruler crate and the Spanish moss. I gotta say it, this turned out so stinking gorgeous. I love this one. I really liked my first one, but I think I like this one a lot better.
This was such a fun DIY to recreate. Taylor, thank you so much for requesting this. I really enjoyed kind of putting a new fresh look on an old DIY. If you all would like to see more of me recreating, putting a new look, a new twist on some of my old DIYs, leave me a comment in the comments below because I go off of your feedback. I gotta say, I think it was fun. I think that there's fresh new looks and twists that you can put on old DIYs that maybe I hadn't thought of back then when I made them. And through my years of crafting and DIYing, I've learned new techniques or new styles that I can implement into an old DIY and kind of give it a whole new look. I hope you all enjoyed this recreation of an old DIY. Please give this video a thumbs up and let's get this video to 5,000 likes because like I always say, each and every one of those thumbs up, they really do help my channel to grow and it helps YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget, and bye for now, everybody.